Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Now let's look at some of the stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker and we're joined by Bloomberg's equities reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning, Chloe.
Good morning.
Let's start with Stellantis, which has rallied after the US-EU tariff agreement. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, so we've seen quite a big movement on the up across the car making sector in Europe, and Stellantis really led the charge, as well as Porsche. They've been cited before as being some of the car makers in Europe that are most exposed to tariff and that tariff uncertainty because of their manufacturing footprint and the supply chains as well. Stellantis obviously reported a surprise loss earlier in the season. Porsche is reporting this week, and it is expected to cut its guidance due to tariffs. So both of those companies are very exposed to it, but the news and the clarity that this brings was really helpful for the shares this morning, and we can see it really kind of reassured investors. Analysts are saying that it's kind of a double-edged sword though, because it allows for better planning, but it also means that the tariffs are still above pre-Trump era. So that may impact competitiveness over the long term, but that's maybe for later to think about.
It's interesting. I mean, auto and car parts manufacturers are up, but they're way down in terms of the sector breakdown. So they're not really seeing the biggest gains. Healthcare's up more than 1%. Technology also 1.4% this morning. But the chip maker ASML is one standout. Why?
So ASML were on the back of this trade deal as well. So across that chip making sector, we have seen gains, but for ASML as well, it's also benefiting from something else, which is Samsung's deal to provide chips to Tesla.
Yes.
The sales of that semiconductor equipment could get a boost because Samsung is ramping up that manufacturing capacity, ramping up that output, and it really needs this equipment, those machines from ASML. So it's kind of a duo of good news this morning for that stock, and that explains the kind of investor enthusiasm around it.
Yeah, they're going to be making, Tesla AI chips, aren't they, in a major deal that Elon Musk was talking about too. Lastly, Heineken's beer sales have fallen. How is the market thinking about this?
Yeah, so Heineken was actually a bit volatile this morning. It's kind of settled now and it is down because the results were a bit of a mixed bag. So there was enthusiasm just generally around the trade deal, but it seems that investors were less excited about that and a little bit more concerned about the fact that there's quite weak beer sales. So beer volumes fell because of disputes over price increases with retailers, but also really weak consumer spending, and that's a really big problem. It's really weak in Europe and in the Americas as well, which are kind of key markets, of course, for Heineken. The CEO said that the beer markets have declined at a pace that Heineken has rarely seen before. So that is quite concerning going forward. It did maintain its guidance for the year, but that was not enough to reassure the market.
Okay, so that from Heineken. Now, Chloe, I can't help but notice that your voice is a little huskier than usual today.
Yes, it is.
Were you out there cheering for the football yesterday?
Yes, I was. I don't regret it, but I do need some honey and lemon, I think, now.
Oh, lovely stuff.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.